Is the attorney going to be there?
For this? I don't think so.
Okay,
Okay. All right, I'm going to call this workshop to order at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilman Cindretto.
Here.
Councilman Reed.
Here.
Councilwoman Funk.
Here.
Okay. Let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. Jose, do you want to lead us in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so who is leading the discussion? Will you be starting off with that tonight, Sherry?
Yes, we want to just go
So-
once.
Sarah, did you have something to say?
Well, I think Sherry did a great job. I think she really made, I had the fortunate opportunity to sit with her yesterday and I've gone through the file that she's going to present in detail. If you want to go one by one, that could be an approach. If you are comfortable, I'm happy to take you through the questions that I have first, but however you'd like to handle it to be the most efficient for everyone. I just want to offer that, and way to go, Sherry. I only have a few questions.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that-
we'll go over the changes or whatever that was different from
Yeah.
last time. And if Sarah has questions, do that first.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
We do now?
Yeah.
Okay, super. So I don't have my camera on because of the internet connection. So if you stop being able to hear me, please let me know. So on page 1, the first comment that I have is down towards it's an account number 332921002, the BF cog crosswalk and trails.
Right,
So in total, we've got 300 and something thousand. We know it's spread over 3 years, but for 2023, it should be 71,628 based on what Alan submitted to BF cog. And then the 260 for 2024, 260,000 is a combination of 24 and 25. We were leaving it like that for now, if everyone's comfortable, just to capture the total amount that's available for us.
okay, so you said he's said 73.
So in
28.
2023, instead of $260,000, the amount should be 71,628.
Okay,
Okay, let me make a little check on mine then. Okay, then just a second. The next place I would skip to would be page 5. Okay, so on page 5, in account number 51420, 4105, the first audit 25% row.
yes,
In 2024, instead of $4,000, the amount should be 0 because we expect the audit to only happen in 2023.
did it not? I have it that I changed it to 0.
What we're looking on the screen and what you emailed, it shows 4,000. That's the only place it's showing up like that, I believe.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
Okay, so we
Three
change the 4,000 to 0,
to 0. Gotcha.
please, and then let's. I noticed then on page 6, just for completeness, so everyone understands that we're looking at this. Towards the bottom, city American flags, 51830, 3103. In 2024, it was 500, but it increased to 1,000. That's probably a really good idea, but I didn't have it in my notes that we were going to change that amount. I don't know if everyone's comfortable with American flags moving to 1,000. Seems like a good idea, but
Well, I think that's kind of a replaced as needed expenditure.
Yeah, it was more than 1,000, wasn't it?
Well, 50.
For a 50.
I think it's the one, hold on. My apologies, it's above that. 51830, I apologize. I didn't have my ruler on the right line. All the way across, 518303102, the City Hall repair and MTC supplies. We've got 500 in 2023, and then 2024, we had 1,000. My apologies. Were we okay with that being 1,000? For in the last version, it only had 500, and I maybe missed that change.
Yeah, I think we missed that change. Just a second.
I don't remember anything about it, but
I don't know if anybody cares if it's 1,000 instead of 500. I just wanted to bring it up because it had changed from the last version.
I'm also thinking the American flags need to be at 500 tops.
Yeah, I don't see where I have any notes that we did any changes on that. So you
Okay.
want to change it to 1,000 or you want to change it to 500?
500,
500 on 24?
yeah.
So their actual though was 1130.
Whoa. Sorry, Mayor Lehman. We're up one row. We're not on American flags yet. I gave bad information. It's the City Hall repair and maintenance supplies. That's at 416.50 for 2022 actuals. 2023 budget is at 500, and then somehow 2024 moved up to 1,000, and we'd like that change back to 500, please.
Okay. I got that.
Okay, then Mr. Sandretto, you were commenting on city flags, the next row, which is where I started, but maybe in error. So are you comfortable with the 1250 there for both years?
I
It
don't,
looks like we've spent more, 700 and 1,130.
well, that's why I say if you average that out, it's probably closer to $500. So I would put 500 in there as a placeholder, and then we have a little money to use if we need to replace some flag.
Instead of the 1,250.
Yes,
For both years.
Both years?
yes.
Okay. Then, just a second. Okay, the next one is on page 9. For postage, so the reallocation between all the departments happened just as expected, but postage at 40% should be 3,700 for both years instead of 3,200, which will be a match with what you show on page 8 for postage at 40% also. So 3,700, 3,700, which they're both at 40%. And that's for account number 535114206.
So you said 23 should be 3,700?
Yeah,
And 24 should also,
Okay,
instead of the 32. In the same section, if we come down a couple of rows to sewer billing supplies, 535. Wait, Sherry, am I doing okay? Am I going too fast?
No, you're fine.
Okay, the next one then is 535703102, the sewer billing supplies on the same line. Currently for on the same page, page 9. For 2023 and 2024, we showed it 3,200, but my notes have it that we'd move it down to 1,000.
Okay.
maybe we should ask Sergio. I mean, Jose.
Wade is sewer.
Sewer could be, I mean, Jose would know probably.
It's been pretty close to $1,000 the last few years.
I can't even find the item.
What's down at the bottom?
Oh,
5 from the bottom. I am not there.
okay.
Says sewer building
Sewer.
supplies.
Billing supplies?
Did we put it at 1,000 or did we say 1,200?
I have 1,000, but I just wanted to, that's part of the discussion. It's whatever.
Billing supplies,
What's that?
sewer
1188. so
billing
maybe-
supplies. Do you know what they're talking about there?
No, I don't.
The billing supplies would be coming out of this office.
That office.
Right, so.
Oh, we had a discussion about that. Yeah, the
Oh.
building.
Paper,
Okay,
different types of things,
Okay.
so it probably would go up just.
Yeah, I would just say make it an even 1,200 right now.
For both years?
Yeah, well, actually, probably 12 and 14.
Okay,
So 12 on 23 and
Okay.
14 on.
Yeah.
okay, then if we move on to page 10. In section 543, street admin overhead, this is audit dash 10%. Account number 54330410001. In 2023, we show 500 and that should move up to 2,500. And in 2024, the 500 should go to 0.
Correct.
What number is that again?
It's 543304101, audit dash 10%.
Okay,
543304110. Yeah, 01. Sorry, apologies. So 2023 should be 2,500 and 2024 should be 0.
2024 should be 0.
Yeah, because we don't expect to have audit.
every
Yeah.
3 years.
Audit, okay.
Okay, then, this was interesting on page 13. In that bottom section, you've got account number 558604105, I-82 admin and other services.
82.
That, is that?
That,
for
that
the-
account, that account number should not be part of the debt service. It wasn't in the last version of what we looked at. I've
Right,
seen that account number before perhaps, but somehow it's in the wrong, it shouldn't be part of debt service. I'm not sure what happened.
It was
I
for,
want to just highlight that as something different.
it was for the design standards. We put 20,000 in.
Mayor Lehman, respectfully, it's in 2024. I know that we have it as a discussion item. What I'm trying to say is this account number, this bars code overall, it didn't appear in the last version. And I think it's in the wrong section. This is about loans. We don't have loans or principal related to I-82, do we?
No,
No,
yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
this is, this actually should be under the community services piece.
So let's try to figure out what number.
Admin and overhead, don't they? The I-82
Oh,
planning.
excuse me, planning and community development, 558 is where that should be actually located.
It is right there on that. 558, I-82 planning, 20,000.
So we're moving that to,
There's the same account number?
Yeah, but if you go back to page 10, it looks like it's under
No.
public housing even. So if you look at page 10,
page 10.
we've got public housing services 551 at the bottom, and that's where we have the other I-82 planning. We don't actually have anything in something called 55. We do have 558. We've got community development and planning on page 11. So we've got a couple things. I don't know if they're all out of sync. I don't know how to think about that. It's a good catch.
Yeah, that was a good catch because
Okay, so we've got, so if we come back to maybe to recap, apologies for the journey I'm taking you all on. On page number 11, we've got 558 planning and community development. But what's missing from 558 that we think should be moved there is on page 10. We've got this thing called bars number 558704101. So I
Right.
think this needs to move to page 11. Okay, and then similarly, if we go back to page 13, you've got another. Thanks, JB, you're doing great. You've got that I-82 number here, 558604105, and that also needs to get moved under page 11.
But it's almost as if that number's been added to try to compensate for the other number not being there.
I think that absolutely could be correct, but we do have numbers in 2024 for both, and I know it's going to be a topic for discussion. But since you've got actuals for the page, the account number on page 10, I think it just needs to get taken. We need to take another look at it, please. So
Okay,
it's kind of flowing together.
you're thinking it needs to be moved to page 11.
Right.
Both of those two accounts should be moved to page 11, correct?
Okay, give me the second one that you were talking about. I have the I-82 plan. And then you were talking about what's the other one?
558-60-4105. Currently, it's in section 591.
On page 13, it's the top row
Sorry,
of that last section.
Okay,
Does that make sense, Sherry?
yeah, but I don't recall us putting any money on the I-82.
And there was that 20,000 already, but it's interesting because in the last version, when we talked about this last week, the account bars number on page 13 did not show up because it was all zeros.
Okay. Don't know why it showed up now.
That's okay. I think that this is really, I mean, we spent a lot of time in the last session. I think that these are, hopefully, it sounds like we're following along pretty good, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, if we go to page 15,
Okay,
about halfway down 15, we've got energy project audit, bars number 594-53-4104. For 2023, we said we put $10,000 to do a baseline audit, but in my notes, I had 2024 at 0 and it's showing $5,000.
Yeah, that's what we agreed.
okay. Will you say that number again, Sarah?
Yep. 594-53-4104.
4104.
Energy project audit.
Okay, and the 24 needs to be made to 10,000?
Needs to be made to 0.
24.
Oh, it's supposed to be 0.
No.
So we have 10,000 2023 and then 0 in 24.
24 is 0.
24 is 0. Okay,
Okay. Okay, so then I had kind of two comments overall that I thought that flow through to a couple of things. And the first one is about the, is going to be on page number 8. Okay, so on page number 8 at the bottom, Sherry, it looks like you've gone and you've talked to the express employment people
yeah,
for the last row to get a rate of $29.44 for 6 months for a temporary worker.
yeah, that should say 29.44 an hour.
Yep, that makes sense. And that's pretty much in line with what we were paying. And so that I mean, I redid the math and the math makes sense, but I wonder, is that what everybody's thinking, is that we just have, is the need that we're trying to make sure we budget for one person for up 40 hours a week for 6 months? Is that the right way we want to try to think about that for now? Is Mr. Sandretto, is that how you were thinking about it?
I think in the discussion we had last meeting, I thought we probably should figure out for a year
Okay,
what that cost is gonna be, because we really don't, and budget it out, just because we don't know the length of time everybody's gonna be out.
got it. So I'm supportive and I really agree with that. And I want everyone, I'm not trying to, thanks everyone team for your patience. What I would say is you see the math on the bottom of page 8, and you have the temporary admin wages. That does translate to exactly 6 months. I'm with you though, Mr. Sandretto. So if we go to page 7, you'll notice that on page 7, we've got temporary admin Wages Express. Towards the bottom, 534-11-1001 for that same amount.
Okay, so that covers.
So I
it.
wanted to make sure no one felt like it was duplicated.
Okay, so yeah, I checked on two full-time employees for 6 months.
Okay.
And I put one in sewer, under sewer, and one under water. Cause that's what they're gonna be dealing with.
And that makes sense, but now if we go to page 10. Under the section 543, streets, admin and overhead. Temporary admin wages express. We've added in that number there too, so now it's in there 3 times for 2023. Not quite 3 times for 2024. So again, that account number is 543-23-1001. Temporary admin wages dash express. It's the first row in section 543
Okay, gotcha.
on page 10.
And the 24 is not correct.
But if what we're saying is we're gonna have 2 people for 6 months, this looks like now we've got 28,262.40 3 times in 23, and I just wanna, is that what the intention is?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I was only looking at 2. I apologize for that.
So do we, go ahead?
Well, we should allocate some of that to the street side too, because that person, whoever they are, we're gonna have to split funds between all 3 of those things, because they're gonna be in the office answering phones for everything, right? And handling, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's gonna have to be split between all 3 funds.
But
I was just looking to see if there was another one of those in any one of the other categories. Did you happen to notice?
I did not happen to notice. Those were the only places that I
Okay.
that I saw it. I whipped through pretty fast today. We do have that account on page 5, but the amount is 0. So even if we need to allocate something, I was just trying to capture, did we have it in total correct?
Yeah, that is correct there.
Okay. So I guess my question would be, when we look at page 10 and we think about the support, if we're talking about 1 person for 1 year, it's basically the 28,262.40 times 2, or 2 people for 6 months each. And even if there should be an allocation between 3 places instead of just the 2, my question would be, is it appropriate to have on page 10 another person for 6 months effectively in 2023? A third person.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Okay, so I think the suggestion then for 2023 and 2024 would be on page 10, start by taking those to 0 and then, allocate. Is it divided by 3, or I'm not sure what allocation you're using for everything else between page 7 and page 8.
Well, in this particular case, streets and what is it, 514?
514,
They all come out of the general fund. So we should have a third of that coming out of the general fund, and then the other 2/3 out of the other 2. So that should be allocated.
Okay, 282,624 times 2. Okay, so the total is 56,524.80. So you said a third should go into 514?
Yeah.
Okay, so on page 5, then, where it shows 0 under 514 2310-01. I understand we should change those zeros. Oh my goodness, I just cleared my calculator. I apologize. Oh man.
Just make it an even 18,842.
Make it even 1842.
Yeah, 18,842.
For both years, correct?
No, not unless we're planning on carrying that forward into 24.
Okay, so 18,840 and for 2023. Then we need to change on page 7. Right now, we show under 534 11 10 01 28 262 40.
Yeah, 24 should be 0, and then 23 should be that 18,842. And that
Page
should
8,
be the same on page.
page 8 at the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. 18.
And then on page 10, we
Just
expect
zero it.
to be 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Sherry, does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're gonna have it 0 on on page 10, we're gonna have it 0 on 23 and 24.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, do you want me to go back and get a year's total or just stick with?
Well, we just did it. She totaled it out and I divided it.
Yeah, but I'll get back a hold of them and have them do a new form for us because these
Yeah.
things expire in 90 days
Oh, okay.
and that may make the rate go up.
Okay.
So,
Well, if that's the case. What's a 10% contingency on that?
Why don't you just do 20,000 in each of the 3? That's
Okay.
basically what it is with rounding.
That's fine.
okay.
How's
Okay.
that? Make it a little easier.
So page 5, 7, and 8, you'll just put 20,000 for each of those.
20,000.
Okay, so then, that was for the temporary workers. Then the other thing overall that I would take you to would be page 11, just kind of as a recap. So on page 11, under the 558 planning and community development section, the changes that were requested all got made. So you've got planner salary wage, then planner benefit, planning commission, planner commission training. You've got, which are account number 558604106. Salary of 125, benefits of 25, followed by planning commission at 4,500, which is 5 people times 12 months times 75. And then training of 2,000 for each year. That's what I captured in my notes. David, is that what you recall?
Yeah, I believe that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing then that I was so thank you for that. The thing that I was, if we use that as an example and you look at the planner, you start at 125. Every year, is it correct that the employees get like a cost of living adjustment? Some type of annual adjustment?
Yes.
Yeah, like 3%.
Yeah, but we're budgeting that. We're hoping to hire at lower rate than that.
So respectfully, I understand that. If we go and we look at a different category, thank you for the clarification though, because if we go look at, if we go back to page 5, which is where admin salary and wages start, on page 5. So this is a big number, 553,310 under admin salary and wages. It's the same for 2023 and 2024. And what I found as I went through here is, I think it's a great place to be for, this version of what we're looking at, but I think 2024 should reflect the salary increase, not just for page 5, salary, admin and wages, but for admin and wages across all admin wages, except it sounds like for the planner. Does
Okay,
that
so for,
resonate with anybody?
Well, no, on those two that you're talking about, the legislative and the council, there'll never be an increase unless we vote an increase.
Apologies, Mr. Sandretto. What I meant was in department number 514 under the general. 51423-1000.
says City Hall next to it on page 5.
So not the legislative section, not the executive session,
Yeah,
the section, excuse me, but the actual salaries for people working in the office. Do you see how it's the same for both years?
Yeah, that shouldn't be, we should be looking at the contract as far as what the wage increase is, because that's standardized and
Right.
locked in by contract for most of those employees, other than, well,
When do we
Actually-
negotiate that again? Is it next year or the year after?
Next year. It expires.
Next year?
Next year.
well, and some of that is not even these guys in the field either. Some of that's the office staff. So there's probably gonna be a cost of living increase that we'll have to look at for them
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
general.
So-
Uh,
Across the board for salary and wages related to staff working for the city. Of course, not legislative, of course, not executive, and it sounds like skip the planner. But the rest of these from 2023 to 2024, I believe should have some type of adjustment.
I think you're right. The question is, what is the prudent adjustment? And again, you'd have to look at. Let me see what a calculator tells me. And I guess there's another question as to what the council would do. Would the council go greater than 3% or not?
I think with all the losses with inflation and everything, that it's likely to be a bigger request than 3%.
Well, again, the union's locked into where they're at,
Mhm.
so. Those employees are getting whatever your contract says. What's your contract say? You know,
52 cents a year, that's January 1, unless you have your longevity pay, 5, 10, 15, then you get the 52 plus 90 cents.
so those are gonna be some fairly minimal increases below probably 1%. I would expect, based on that number. That's a tough call where to roll that to. Does anybody have a number of what the general fund has increased this year? If it has it increased in our tax revenues?
Yes, it's increased in our tax revenues.
Oh, you want an answer?
Yeah, I'm looking for a number though.
Went into payroll, in the advanced payroll. I can pull the employees that had worked at the first part of this year before we were hired. So I had to add them into this cost too.
So Sarah,
Yes.
are you saying? Looking at what I'm seeing here, that our tax revenues have increased by
You have to go in, you have to go in, and you have to go into.
$180,000?
No, so you're looking at page 1
Yeah.
under taxes. No, I don't think that that's a good, I don't think that's very prudent.
Okay.
I think I mean, because we still have December coming into actuals. I think you maybe have, I don't know, I would say $100,000. I don't have
Higher.
$100,000 higher, but not as much as I hoped. I mean, maybe it will be more because you're gonna have the full year next year. But I think where we really see the increase is on that very first row and the second row.
Okay.
And you can see we haven't really had big increases that we're showing from 2023 to 2024. And we have 2022 actuals that should come in, $10,000 less than what's in 2023. So there was a big increase from 2021 to 2022. But we haven't planned for quite as big of an increase in 2023. Based on the average run rate of cash coming in and the cash flow in 2022.
Right.
So you're saying that it's not as good as you expected, is that? what
Not as
I'm-
big as I expected.
It is. I found some stuff. I even found a city council person that I hadn't got in there.
I wish I could find a calculator
She
here.
was only,
Can you do some math for me, Sarah?
Yeah, let me open up Excel though, so I'm not, that way I can go back and forth on it. And let me get another version of this because I calculated it. I don't have.
Hey.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Let's take both numbers, 553,310,97.
Oh, shoot. What page are you on? Or what are you? Sorry.
I'm on page 5.
page 5.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn to page 5.
Admin salaries and benefits.
Yep. Okay.
553
Uh-huh.
310.97 plus
Okay.
7,839.91.
Okay.
So,
$641,000.
okay, give me 3% on that.
Oops. That'll be $660,000. Basically a $19,000 increase.
Okay.
On the benefits.
Benefits
And
Con- and wages combined.
so. Just because we don't know what's gonna happen. That's plenty. Capable for our increase, but I'd say we should probably put 5% onto each of those line items.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
And then we're gonna have to figure out, because the union employees that are under each section, water, sewer. We need to make sure those salaries adjusted too.
And here's maybe, okay, so Sherry, an increase of 5%, that makes sense. We don't know, but increase of 5%. So that we've got that.
Okay.
The thing that I've got something on page 12 really quick. I think it's page 12. I have one more on page 12 that I think we need to look at and then come back to salary and wages. So on page 12, you've got account number 57210 4601, the WCIA pool insurance dash library 12%.
That's the insurance for the library.
Yep, in 2024, it should be that 9,881.76. 2024 didn't get updated. Everywhere else for WCIA pool insurance, 2023 and 24 are in line with 2022, but for some reason, on page 12, this number that we're talking about, you've got 2470.44, and it needs to get changed to 9,881.76.
Right, I see that. I don't know why they're because we had an increase in the insurance.
I think it's just maybe something that didn't get updated. So I want to make sure that one does. And then what I would ask is, we were talking about salaries, we were talking about benefits. Does the WCIA pool insurance increase from one year to the next? Because when I'm looking at WCIA insurance across, 12%, all these other rows and all the pages, it looks like it is increasing every year. And right now we don't show an increase. And I think so I wanted to ask that question too.
Okay,
I think, Sarah, it's prudent that we figure out what, because I'm reading that line item you're talking about, and it does say actual 2023.
yeah, it's because we got an increase. We already got this stuff from the insurance company.
There's already an increase.
Okay. So. Yeah, I have City Hall and the library both at 12%.
Yeah, and so that's just the allocation, just like with postage. My point is that when you look, for example, at City Hall, the central services, if you look at 2020 to 2021, it goes from $7,614 in 2020, and then in 2021, it goes to $8,261.
Maybe I should go back and look at the policy for 2022 and 2021.
Okay, well, it was an 8% increase. And then from 2021 to 2022, it was a 20% increase. And then for 2023 to 2024, I know you're saying you have some good figures for that, but it appears to be the same as 2022. And I don't know, having an 8% increase and then 20% increase doesn't make.
One
I think we could be looking for an increase in 2023 and 2024 also, maybe that we're not planning for right now.
Okay, yeah, I have this stuff from the insurance. I'll go back and review it again.
Yeah, the number in 2024 actually is reflects what Parks is supposed to pay.
But you see how they're flat, and if you look at what actuals have been up until that point, they change.
Right,
Yeah,
I do.
Okay. So then the last comment that I had that still relates to salaries and wages, because not everything looks like this, is, again, if we go back to page 5 and look at admin salary and wages on page 5, if under account number 514231001, oops, sorry, my apologies, 514231000, we go from 146,000 in 2022 to 553,000 in 2023. And what I didn't have time to do, Sherry, I think you spent a bunch of time looking at and making sure that all the people are in the right buckets, but that's such a big
Jump.
it is.
such a big jump. And when we talked about people and people by department, I didn't get this far this afternoon after you guys provided the file, but I think we might need to look at that one more time.
Okay, yeah, I went back and looked in the payroll on the previous employees before me and Carla came. And they're added in there because they're in 2022. But I can go back and review those again.
Okay. I'm sorry to make that request, but I think when we go across all the departments.
Well, I think one of the things you got to be cognizant of, though, too, is there may be some budgeting for the new position that's added to that, as well as the idea of paying somebody the entire term of a year versus having some contract employees in there. So
I
I'm not-
agree.
I'm not saying it's right, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there was probably an increase for sure.
Absolutely. And I guess that my question would be, the easiest question I would have would be, does the 553, are we sure it doesn't include the new planning position?
No, I didn't, no, not that I know of.
Okay, So
I can review it.
if you could take one more look, I think we're really close. But if we add up all the salaries, admin salaries and wages across all the lines, I think it's. Yeah, it'd be good to do that exercise one more time. Those are the comments that I had when I went through here. And I think Sherry, you did an excellent job making the rest of the updates and changes that we'd asked about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So. Going through everything, I didn't see anything jumping out on me, and we talked about some other stuff. I made a note on your insurance thing, Sherry. And I would look somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5%. I put 3 on there for an
Okay.
annual increase on those numbers.
Okay,
And if you want to go a little high, that's fine. We gotta be sure that we compensate for it.
yeah, better to go high.
Yeah. And if we end up low, better off. We got a little extra.
Exactly.
On that note, I know we've been playing and having a good time doing this.
Oh, it's fun.
I could see the joy in everybody's expressions. We've got to probably have a finalized budget by the next meeting.
I think we have to do it ahead of that, don't we? Didn't we find out? We had to post it ahead.
You have to, I think, Sarah, weren't we talking that it had to be posted for 2 weeks?
Yeah, let me pull up the checklist. So it says that it needs to be posted once a week for two consecutive weeks.
So we're looking at probably
Now.
having to look
Have
at
a
it
special
next
meeting.
week. Yeah,
I was wondering if it was possible to support a special meeting on Monday next week.
Well, Mondays are usually my clear days. But I think, what is Monday the 19th? No.
Monday, the 12th.
Are you
I-
thinking in the evening?
Well, it would be in the evening, yeah, like this. To do another workshop. Is
And
that what
what's,
you're looking at?
is that the 19th?
No.
The 12th.
The 12th? There's something I have on the 12th. I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
Okay.
Or maybe the 15th, Thursday, the 15th.
I'm gonna. I've got something that day. So,
I'll have to check my calendar.
or actually, no, I don't have anything that day. No, I do have something that day. I do. Sorry. It's the following Thursday. I'm free.
How do your schedules look, Bill or Jessica? I mean, do you have any time next week?
Monday or Thursday is good for me.
Yeah, Monday and Thursday would be fine for me.
Okay, because there's one other piece that we haven't talked about in all the budget fun.
Capitals.
Not only the capitals, but if we go and we look at page 4, you know, your question about where do all the funds sit and everything else, you know, this is one view of the budget. But to be able to get the budget set and know where we stand, do you see the section intercompany fund transfers 397?
Yeah.
2022 needs to get populated, and 2023 and 2024 need to be updated.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherry, it also looked like some of these accounts under the capital maybe haven't all got synced up with Alan. Does that sound right? Or did you guys have a chance to connect?
can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. Did you and Alan have a chance to connect on like page 14 to the end on the capital projects?
We did, but Alan is sick, so as soon as he says he can't talk without coughing, so I guess as soon as he can, I guess I can do emails with him and talk to him over the phone.
Well, hopefully he'll get to feeling better, but I think that's a reason, you know, as you're thinking about when to meet next and the time, I think there's kind of maybe very minor updates, it sounds like, that we went through today. And then reviewing 14 to 17 with Alan, and then working through those transfers.
Okay,
So we got posted for 2 consecutive weeks. Let me do some stuff here real quick.
And we have discussion items tonight later on several topics.
Yes. Those are gonna work into our capital plan, so we gotta work on that too.
I'm going to do that with Alan before I can probably do this.
So I guess I need to ask this question. We're gonna have to have a special meeting to approve the budget before December 31st.
And I think we have to have a public hearing on the proposed preliminary budget too. That's what the MRSC checklist says.
Okay, when do we gotta have that?
We'll have to have it on the 20th.
So
Well, then we'd have to post the preliminary budget today.
Or the next meeting, whenever that is the 20th.
Yeah, it's the 20th, because we'd have to post it for 2 consecutive weeks. Then we have to have the public hearing at the next meeting. That isn't gonna happen because we don't have a finalized budget for a preliminary budget just yet. So that's what I'm trying to say here is we're gonna have to have a special meeting with a public hearing after the 27th. And that's if we meet on the 12th to finalize this budget.
I agree with you. Merry Christmas.
Now, it doesn't have to be the 27th, it can be the 28th or 29th, but we gotta figure out a plan on when that's gonna be. The later we go, the longer we can wait to post. So if we need to have a meeting on the 12th and the 15th, we can do that.
If we published that we had a meeting on the 12th and 15th and then didn't need the one on the 15th, can we just cancel it? Like start it and say we're done?
I think we can cancel a meeting anytime we want, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we could say, set a workshop for the 12th and a workshop for the 15th. And if we don't get it resolved on the 12th, we have to have it resolved on the 15th and posted. Well, it's gonna have to be posted the next day. So that we'd have, well, that's not gonna work, is it? No, that would work. We'd have to have that meeting on the 30th to approve the budget.
And when do you have to have a public hearing?
We'd have to have it on the 30th, after people have had time to review the preliminary budget as posted. Unless we can get it posted the night of the 15th. We could approve it the night of the 29th. I'm open to thoughts here, folks. I'm just throwing out the ideas.
What is everybody's schedule Monday afternoon, so we can knock it out?
On the 12th, I'm at work until 5 o'clock. Now, I could maybe go to work an hour early or so and leave at 4, but so I'm only gonna be here at 4:30, so.
But to me, it's better than starting at 7 or 6 or whatever. I mean, I'm giving suggestions to try to get it done.
Well, I can zoom in anytime, so. But that's always contingent on how busy I get too.
Would it make sense to, would there be availability, Bill, Jessica, Linda on Monday to zoom in at lunch and try to do it at noon?
I'm just trying to look up something here.
Sometimes that's a little tricky for me.
Okay, fair.
I'm available all day Monday in person.
And Sherry, if there's anything helpful, if I can be of any help to you on Thursday morning or Friday morning, I have availability, if that is helpful. If it's not, don't worry.
What time Thursday? It's basically whatever's good for you, because I'm, here.
It looks, yeah, maybe at 10:30 on Thursday.
that'll be fine.
And I can try to come earlier. I just have to work on my childcare situation.
Is that the week after this coming one?
No, it's just,
After, or is it?
Thursday.
I know for a fact I cannot be there at 10 o'clock. I have,
We're just talking about meeting.
on the,
Maybe we can just check through the changes one more time if that's helpful
Oh,
for
this
you
Talk
guys.
about working together. that's
Okay.
Different
Yeah.
than,
then us, okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
So Sarah, you said 10:30 or 10 o'clock?
I'm about to move it to, I'd like to do it even at 9. I just need to check my childcare situation. Can I get back to you either later tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know tomorrow.
Perfect, thanks.
Okay, so did we nail down at 12 and 15 special meetings?
I can do the 12th in the evening.
I
Okay.
can too.
So
What time?
if we put it at, you good for 5 or 5:30?
5:30.
Man, Mayor?
Oh, I can come after about 4:30. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 5:30 Monday
Okay,
for a workshop. Special meeting workshop. Then we'll set another one tentatively for the 15th for any kind of cleanup. Same time. And then we'll have to have that budget posted for public review on the 16th. Let's say before noon. And then anytime afternoon on the 30th, we can meet to have a public hearing and approve it. Okay,
Okay,
everybody good with that?
Mhm.
Good to go.
You said me. I'm not the meeting.
Yeah, because we got to give it a full 14 days.
You have 3 minutes left.
Yeah. I think that includes this workshop.
thank you so much for sorting through that. The one item on the capital budget that I don't know if it's on the agenda all the way to talk about is about the library and the capital improvements there, like painting it or working on those. There was a name for something that started with an S. I don't
Right.
recall what it is.
Soffits need to be painted.
Office. And I don't know if we have that in the capital budget.
The fascia.
Fascia, yeah.
Well, we'll bring it up as part of
Thank you.
amendments you have to put it in
Thank you.
the box with everything else I got talking about evidently. Guess I'm gonna lead some of that, so. Did you happen to get our loan amounts by chance and what we're standing on? Okay. Good. Thank you.
Are we adjourned?
Not yet, but I make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Great eye.
Bye.
Motion carries, meeting is adjourned.